I'm just gonna do like just a drop basically into to this Elysian green. Just kind of give it just an ever so slightly brighter color. I'm just gonna basically do this on, I think, too bright. Just like the tip of his nose, tip of his chin, elbow, knee, tips of their ears. Knuckles. Nothing crazy, just a little bit. It's basically the extremities, extreme points. So, Hammond, how you doing? Doing well myself. Painting some goblins. Just doing some final highlights on the skin here. All the very, very high points. I think I need to come back in just ever so slightly and run a wash, very thin wash, kind of in between their finger joints. Just to kind of like darken that up a bit, because I think I've got a little bit of paint that's kind of peeking out. Ha! Yeah. Well, man, you gotta practice. What are you painting? Just out of curiosity. Crack fingers, crack fingers. Ah, that felt good. Getting in over your head is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the best way to learn. It's just kind of getting in and figuring out what works, what doesn't. Find some YouTube videos, check out some people here on Twitch. Ask questions in the comments. People are more than willing to help you out. Oh, nice, the Stormtrooper. Oh gosh, dude, those are tough minis to start painting on right off the get-go, but if you can figure out how to do it properly the first time with those guys, man, props to you. Because black and white, black is easy to paint, white is a lot tougher. But props to you for giving them a shot. I've always wanted to pick up the Imperial Sultan set and paint those up, but that's just like another thing that I'd buy and never get around to painting, you know? I know there's at least one or two series of videos on YouTube that this gentleman, I think his name is Sarastro, or Sarastro. He goes through like how he painted all of his, and I think he's got some quick tips for painting the Stormtroopers. I can't remember if they involve like a gloss coat and a wash or something like that, but he goes through and basically says how he painted his Stormtroopers, and it actually turned out pretty well. He does like quick painting techniques for either beginners or just people who want to get. Oh, nice. Yeah, so you know about him. Yeah, he does some really nice quality videos. I followed his zombie painting guides when I painted my zombie side stuff. I still haven't finished painting all of mine. Yeah, he does a nice job. There's some people on Facebook that are doing some nice paint jobs on the Imperial Assault stuff. But I'm painting up my goblins for my Frostgrave army. I'm getting cork all over the place here. So I did my orc, my test orc, so he's my archer. So I got him done, I don't know, probably like 6 months ago. And then I've got my 3 little goblin guys for my what do you call them? Thieves. So just kind of been getting the skin done on them, and I think I'm gonna work on getting the cloaks done. I don't know, I might 10 o'clock I might see how far I go with that. Where did I... Here, green ochre. So I'm going to use green ochre next from Reaper. Bad your eyesight? Yeah. I've got kind of bad eyesight, but I'm at least fairly good up close, and, you know, my glasses don't really interfere with anything. But yeah, I found that if you get, like, a piece of cork, and this is just like blue tack, you just mount your miniatures to this, this is so much more easy to hold on to, than holding on to the base. I just did way too much water in there. So I'm doing a 1-to-1 mix now of, I've got uniform brown on here, which is the earlier color in this kind of Reaper triad. So when I'm painting his cloak here, I'm gonna go two different layers. Yeah, look how wet that paint is, man. Way too wet for what I'm doing. Let's try and get this on here without having it pool all over the place. Oh, that paint tastes gross. Ah. So yeah, the Imperial Assault set's a good place to start. I know like the character models and all that have some good ways to practice kind of techniques. I don't know if people have mentioned it to you, if this is like your first time stopping through, but there's a big group here on Twitch that does paint streaming, Brushlickers United, and there's a couple other people as well that kind of just paint in creative on their own, or they're part of, you know, like a different stream team. But definitely give everyone else here on Brushlickers a follow. Check them out. They've got tons of tips. There's pretty much almost always someone streaming. You'll definitely be able to pick up some pointers and techniques from at least someone on here. You know, if you just drop in. And thanks for the follow. Get a little bit of Reinhardt action tonight. They're doing like a big patch or something on the PTR for Overwatch. I need to go check that out. It's been a couple days since I played. It's kind of bummed the Halloween event is done. It was a lot of fun. I think like Sombra is going to be the next big thing that everyone goes nuts about. So this is just straight green ochre. Final highlight. They kind of do this a little bit streaky, so it gives the effect of there being like a little bit of texture on the cloak. I guess this would be like the hide interior part. Cloak. I don't know. Goblins, I guess they just kind of stitch stuff together. It's definitely animal hide because there's like fur on the other side of this cloak, but so it's just blue tack. Like poster board, it's this stuff here. It comes from Loctite, is the name of the company. It's like this blue strip, and you just kind of peel a piece off, and it's like it's kind of tacky. You just pull like a little, you know, size of my thumbnail off, and just shove it onto the tip of the cork, and it's basically like this. You know, it's kind of like a tacky. It's blue tack, you know, poster tack. I've thought about doing silly putty before, because it's really dry out here in Colorado, and this stuff dries out after 1 or 2 uses. So it's really only good for like 1 or 2 miniatures. So I'm looking to find something that's a little more long-term solution, so I don't have to keep buying more of this stuff, because it's basically done after, a week or two, because it's so freaking dry out here. Things just go bad really quickly. No, I think I'm gonna go one more. I'm gonna go one more layer on this. Just gonna mix a little ivory in, just for a very final edge highlight, kind of along right here. Yeah, I used to just kind of hold onto the miniature, and I kind of found that having this piece of cork to kind of help get a grip on it, it helps you just kind of rotate the miniature easier. It's just a lot easier to hold on to. It's just such less stress on your hand in the long run. Plus, it actually gets your hand up off of the model, so you're not rubbing any paint off that you just applied, or getting your, finger oils if you use like a glove or anything like that, which will actually kind of strip the paint after a while. So the blue tack, I think I just picked up at like a Walmart, or they might even have it at like you have like Safeway or the equivalent thereof, just like the grocery store, kind of like over in the do-it-yourself aisle. They typically have, in the grocery stores here, they've got like, light bulbs and stuff like that, where you need, like in a pinch, like some Scotch tape or something. Typically they have like super glue and poster tack down in there. But if not, you can probably find it online. I'm going to use a light brown next for the cloak on this guy. Again, we're going to go probably 1-to-1. Yeah, 1-to-1 mixed with this red leather that I had on the palette already. Kind of work this up. Some of that extra paint off. I was gonna say something earlier. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So if you check out the guys here on guys and gals on Brush Lickers, they'll definitely be able to help you out if you're getting started. The other thing I'd recommend is I don't know if you're familiar with Reaper Miniatures. They sell I think it's like the Learn to Paint kits or Get Started Painting kit. That's a good place to start if you're a little hesitant about jumping directly into the Star Wars stuff, because painting stormtroopers is fun, but it's a difficult way to learn how to paint properly. Just because you're dealing with very kind of concrete colors, like it's black and white. And to kind of make them look like stormtroopers, you really need that huge stark contrast. But like Reaper sells, they're called Bones miniatures, and they're kind of like a somewhat soft plastic. I might have one kicking around here somewhere. They're a little difficult to kind of prime properly, but if you find the right primer, or if you just do a brush on, they actually take paint really easily. These are just some skeletons, and you can see they're super flexible because it's like a soft plastic. The cool thing is that the paint doesn't chip when you do this. Whereas like a metal miniature or anything like that, these are great to learn how to paint on. And since I own an airbrush, I just basically airbrush my base color. It's just like kind of like this medium brown, and then I just did some dry brushing and started back in on the armor. So, but it comes like in this white, kind of white plastic. I think they're doing like dark gray now, but this is all bendable, and they're dirt cheap. They're like $1, sometimes less than $1 a miniature. $1 or $2 for kind of like some of the character models. But they're a great way to kind of learn how to paint, because they're cheap and they've got enough detail on them. There's enough variety in that range that you can kind of say, oh, I want to learn how to paint fur. And they've got like bears and guys with like fur cloaks and stuff like that. Citadel paints, you know, I've only got